Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, the honorable lecturer and all my friends in this class. I would like to say thank you for coming in our video presentation. First of all, let's say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because of His blessing we can do our presentation activity today. And also we would like to say thanks to Mrs. Dea for giving us the opportunity to present the result of our discussion. Alright, let me introduce myself and my partner first. I'm Andika Fasya Saifullah with ID number 202122018. As a moderator, we'll guide you in this presentation. Then my partners, there are Indri Megafutri with ID number 202122006. Also Siti Sarah with ID number 202122015. Then Raisa Janu Afifa with ID number 202122029. And my last partner is Anissa Nur Islamiyati with ID number 202122038. They are as presenters. In this presentation, we are going to present the result from our group discussion about article review. Previously, I will read first the points that we will explain. So the points that we will explain, there are first, research objectives or goals, second, theories or research framework, third, method, fourth, results or findings, fifth, conclusion, sixth, comments, and the last, position. Okay, now let's jump into the material. But first, I will tell you the intrinsic element of the article that we choose. The title of the article is What Does Language Assessment Literacy Mean to Teachers? Then the authors, there are Vivian Barry, Susan Sheehan, and Sonia Munro. For authors affiliation, there are British Council and University of Huddersfield. And for journal's name, edition and page, it is ELT Journal, volume 73, page 113 until 123. For the first materials will be explained by Indri Megafutri. To Indri, time is yours.
Alright, thank you to the moderator for giving me opportunity. I'm Indri Megaputri with ID number 202122006 and I'm here will explain about research objectives or goal and also the theories or research framework. Alright, for the first is about research objective or goals. So that article is aimed to put teachers at the center of the debate by exploring their attitude to assessment and their assessment practices. While the theories or research framework from that article is about language assessment literacy has been discussed by language assessment specialists since DAPI's seminar 2008 article, and much of this discussion has focused on expert opinions of what teachers know, do not know, and should know about the assessment. Alright, I think that's all for me, and thank you.
Thank you, Indri, who has explained the first materials. Now for the second material will be explained by Anissa Nur Islamiyati. To Anissa, time is yours.
Thank you to the moderator for giving me the opportunity to deliver the material. But let me introduce myself first. I'm Anissa Nur Islamiyati with ID number 202122038. And without any further ado, let's go to the material about method of this article or journal. These surveys are generally created by expert assessment researchers, often leading to an emphasis on possible gaps in teacher knowledge. In the study stated, a range of assessment-related topic was presented to teachers with questions which asked them to state their current level of knowledge about the topic and their interest in learning more about it. Presentation and discussion of the training materials ultimately developed for teachers is beyond the scope of this article. Participants in the study were teachers who were based in Europe at the time of the project. A total of 54 teachers participated in the study. And there were three stages of the data collection. For the stage one, consisted of semi-structured interviews with three teachers working in a UK university, which explored what assessment training they had received and the impact of testing and assessment on their teaching practice. And for the stage two, comprised classroom observations and follow-up interviews with three different teachers working at a study center in a UK university to determine what assessment practices teachers actually used in the classroom. And for the last, consisted of five group discussions with 48 EFL teachers who worked for a large international organization that recruits and trains teachers. In addition to the observation sheets, the final data from the three stages of the data collection consisted of 16 hours of oral discussions. The framework used for the data analysis was components of assessment literacy such as skills, knowledge, and principles. A deductive approach was taken to the data analysis with each researcher coding independently, after which the two sets of codings were compared. That's all from me. Thank you. Back to the moderator.
Anissa, who has delivered the materials. For the next material will be delivered by Siti Sarah. To Sarah, time is yours.
Alright, thank you so much, moderator, for giving me the opportunity. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tisara, with my student's number is 202122015. And now in here, I will explain about result or findings. Discuss the data from our classroom observations and focus group discussions. Many teachers reported they had received little or no formal training assessments. Observed that the teachers use a range of assessment techniques, including self and peer assessment in the classroom, interviewed one of the teachers, etc. And also observed that the teachers use a range of assessment techniques, including self and peer assessment in the classroom. They shared marking criteria with students and discussed features of a good piece of work. For example, the focus of one of the observed lessons was giving a presentation. The teachers encouraged the students to look at the marking criteria and discuss the key features of a good presentation. In another lesson, we saw the teacher using a class test as a stimulus for student reflection. She encouraged the students to shift their focus from the test score to how they could develop their language in a more holistic sense. In another of the lessons, the teacher simplified an activity which the students seemed to be struggling with. When we raised this section of the lesson with him, he categorized this as a good teaching. That's all for me. I'll give it back to moderator. Thank you.
Thanks to Sarah, who has delivered the material. For the next material will be delivered by myself. So the conclusion is the relationship between teaching, assessment, and testing as practiced by the participants in their study, where teaching is the overall reason for teachers to be in the classroom. Assessment in its many forms is part of that teaching, and testing is only one facet of assessment, although this is not necessarily for how the teachers themselves understand it. And now for the last materials will be delivered by Raisa Janu Afifa. To Raisa, time is yours.
Thank you to the moderator for the opportunity. My name is Raisa Janu Afifa and my student's number is 2021222029. Here I will explain the material about command and position. So the first is comments. Our group think that this article is very good article because it gives the reader much information about language assessment literacy, on not only about what a language literacy is, but wider than that. And the authors wrote different point of view about this article language assessment literacy and also put some expert opinions on it. They explain about language assessment literacy in this article is very quiet and clear enough and specific. So this article is so useful for the readers. Last material is about position. As the author said, that effective assessment can support and promote learning, and therefore a teacher's ability to engage with a range of teaching, learning, and assessment practices is essential. But we couldn't agree more with that point of view because we assume that beside an effective assessment support to the teachers, also it support it to the students in teaching and learning process. An effective assessment indicates that the teacher has ready and prepared. Also, it shows the teacher's knowledge, capability, and quality. So that's all for me. I'll return to the moderator.
Thanks to Raisa who has delivered the last materials. Alright everyone, maybe that's all for the presentation from our group. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry if our group had a mistake during this presentation. We hope our presentation can give you benefit. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.